Hello, today is the 29th of May, and it's Saturday. I'm chilling, no makeup, so no makeup, no care, I don't. Real life. So what I thought I would do here is I thought I would look at 4314 14th Street in East Beach at Simon's Island in Georgia. So, of course, in your screen, when you see this, you will have that image put in here for you to look at. Usually over to the right side. So I'm looking at this property, and one of the things about this property, that being that it is very, it looks like at the end of a beach, I neglected to notice whether it was north or south, but if you Google that, it's really quite stunning, the area. You have a very beautiful white beach, looks like. Gould's Inlet, public beach access. Pardonnez-moi. Okay, so you just get a feeling that, especially areas around this kind of water, they're rich in history. And I mean, especially for like shipwrecks, prohibition, pirates, all kinds of stuff. So that area's definitely got it. I know that much about some basics about that area and what was going on roughly. So let's just take a look, though. It's a fairly looking modern building. I'll see if I can pause this and get a date on the building that's there. So 1963, and it's quite a good sized lot. 4, I think, bedrooms, 3 baths, and over 2,000 square feet lot. But the house that is present, most recently, was built in 1963. And being the spot that it's in, I'm sure that that area has seen all kinds of ocean, water, storm related trouble in history as well. So I think just it's in a very intense location to boot, if we just look at it geographically, which I love to do. Okay, so let's see. So this is 4314 14th Street and East Beach, Simon's Island. Now, whoever lives there, I don't want them to be disturbed or anything like that, but I'm just going to be reading on, asking my spiritual mentors to help me and to pick up with the cards on like the layers of energy that are there, intelligent, residual, what I need to know. I like to allow the universe to tell me what we need to know about that area also. Sometimes you can get a lot more out of the, asking that. And it's like for the highest, the highest good. So I feel very comfortable just saying, share with us what we need to know. So let's see. Okay. All right, let's see what we get. I'm using, by chance, the Zombie Tarot. It's a personal favorite of mine. But, okay, we're getting the card of the Empress. A mother-wife figure. It also can be the land. But let's just allow some more cards to come out. And we have the Page of Cups. So I get a mother and a child. Definitely. I think she had more than one. And I'm being shown that something about a life that I think socially, like how everybody else thought was a concern and how things looked, and that appearance issue. It looked like happy families. It looked like maybe things were better than they were. To the public, there's this real chipper, oh, everything's grand. But I'm feeling like there was, with a woman in this scenario, and somehow connected to that land, a lack of contentment, and she may have been being abused. I just get a sense of domestic abuse. You know, like the old school kind of feeling of a husband that drinks too much and is an abuser of his family. But good old boy, you know, it really has that cliche kind of a feel to it. And unfortunately, from growing up in areas like that, that is a very real cliche that's still alive and unfortunately present. All right, let's see what else I'm getting here. Now, the Six of Cups, so there's the card of nostalgia and this past, and there's also a King of Swords. Now, I'm feeling the King of Swords is the father figure card in here, or the husband. Oh, can you see that? This, and I do feel like there was a man, this man hunted. He was, I think, in every essence, a bit of a, thought of himself as a man's man, you know, macho, bit of a macho code, but I think perhaps a bit neglectful or abusive toward the wife, which is not cool. That is not cool. That is, pardon me, you guys, you know I can't stand. All right, anyway, let's get it over with here. I'm feeling like this guy has memories there. There's an older man. And I'm feeling like this man, this King of Swords, became a grandfather. And lived there probably to his death. Okay. The Eight of Cups. There's an abandonment issue here. And there's a control issue with strength, overbearing, being overbearing. And it goes back to this King of Swords past, with regard to childhood, or maybe that's how they grew up. But the feeling is that there was a very overreaching aspect, I think, in this male's behavior to control. Issues of abandonment, and so maybe very, very controlling of the wife and his family. I mean, to the point of that the guy's a bit over the top with the Strength card. Now we're going into more violence. It's not just someone that's enduring, but in this case, with the Eight of Cups, that is just not, not a good thing. And the Nine of Pentacles. Oof. I'm just really getting a lot of physical violence off a man. Maybe a couple of men. But a father, husband figure for sure. In the more recent, I feel like, modern, quote-unquote, history in 20th century. Nine of Wands. Yeah, someone's really abusive, and had to feel needed help. Oh God. So what I'm being shown is that this family needed outside help. I think there was a father figure that was absolutely toxic. And he had abandonment issues, and his response, he may have been, his mother may not have wanted him, or he may have been gone from family to family or adopted or, I'm not quite sure what it was. But he had a feeling deep-seated, I think, fear and a need of and a desire of having a wife and a family. That shows, he did that, but he was just so afraid of quote-unquote losing them that he is abusing them. It goes into not just being fear, but it gets warped into where you're doing the worst thing. And so I'm getting a sense of this is a man that had guns for sure, because I've gotten that more than on one occasion here with a reference to guns and bullets and violence. And there's the issue of, but to the outside world, put on a happy face. Put some makeup over that black eye. For real, with the Nine of Wands. I think there was injury sustained.
I got this for you.
So I just feel that this woman was, she endured a great deal of abuse, and I'm feeling that collectively it added up to where she was needing to have some outside help her. But she felt trapped because of, things are supposed to be nice. Or what did you do? Definitely that sense that she would be blamed. And I just feel like she was antagonized and endured a great deal of abuse with that Nine of Wands, and needed someone to try and help her. The Lovers. This is about choices, and it can be about relationships. And the Page of Swords. About a choice here. Making a decision. I think she's trying to think of what to do. This doesn't necessarily mean that she got a lover, but she might have. She might have, in order to take care of the situation. But the Lovers can also be about an agreement or a choice that you find to be agreeable, a partnership, acting in union. And here's the Four of Swords and the Seven of Wands. I think acting in strength to take somebody down, and maybe a violent man, that I'm feeling somebody finally found their strength to respond. And I really feel that they did, to the point where this person passed on, the abuser. So I think that this wife that I'm picking up on found someone to help her deal with an abusive, very abusive marriage, husband. Because the Seven of Wands is all about standing up to. It's when the tide is in your favor. your strength is at, it's the time to strike is now. And then the Four of Swords, that's like, and now there's peace. Because, Earl's been put in the, like the Chicks song. They used to be called the Dixie Chicks. But goodbye, Earl. It's kind of feels like a little bit of that. The Tower. But for a king, and maybe the man that took out the other fellow, or this could be, again, referring to the husband. There was just, it happened very suddenly, and it wouldn't have been something expected. I don't overall feel like that is the only kind of like energy imprint there. This could be even another incident here where I'm being shown now a king of swords. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's not swords. It'll be cups. They have hazards. I wish they would have, I don't know what. Anyhow, what am I getting from him? Here's ruin for this individual. I don't know if he was in connection to what I feel like was a taking out of an abusive male or not, or whether this was the guy on the receiving end. But it's definitely showing a male figure likes probably to use substance of some kind, drink, especially he's holding a drink, and it's sudden, and the Tower is, it's, everything is not as he once thought it was. His life is upside down. Literally, the Hanged Man. It's weird to be saying those words and then you pull the card. And I feel like this dude was homicidal, suicidal. Ace of Cups. And indulging. I see him sitting in my mind's eye, kind of with the curtains, and this can just be symbolically for me to understand, with the curtains kind of pulled and drinking. And that this person's in a very dark place, as I said, with thoughts that are homicidal, suicidal. When they just need to really see the changes from a much more positive aspect to rebuild and make your life on something real, now that you've discovered what, wasn't what you thought it was. But with that Hanged Man, it looks like there was a delay in his ability to kind of get that perspective and in seeing the positive side of it. He was not seeing, he was not seeing the gift in this at all. King of Cups. There's a lot of violence here. Here's another man, and we have fighting. I feel like there has been so much variety of violence from different spans of time, and I know that might sound cliche, but that's what I'm seeing in the cards, and I'm not feeling like it's all from one story, so to speak, one connected point. It's like, and this, but it's what the cards are going to show me is overall it's violence. It's physical violence, and it's masculine. The first card came up as a woman, I believe, as the Empress, or maybe a Queen of Pentacles, was it? The Empress. And I feel like this has to do with the land being a source of wealth, the energy also then speaking of women, mothers, a woman, a wife, a mother's abused, and her abuser, I think, may have ended up being killed. She may have had to get help, and that was covered up. Then there's another points of a couple of violent men. One man is like homicidal, suicidal, and he, I feel like, just kind of hangs around that presence, that perimeter, that area. And as I said, I could see him sitting somewhere with a drink and just and feeling depressed and not being in a balanced state of mind, in a scary state of mind, no less. And you've had the Tower, so there's been trauma there, and it looks like it's family trauma. There's domestic violence. It looks like also there's personal, mental health matters of instability with people that had, I think, spent time on that area of land and in connection to it. And I believe that land was fought over. And there's I believe that there have been more than one person has died on that property. Or in connection who lived there at one time. But the most enduring is the violence of the men, and men fighting. So, and getting, serious hardcore fighting. And the abuse I saw of this, I think, mother and child, was like, it would leave marks. I feel like it was enough where this woman had to act because she would have been killed. And this man was, I think, lured and disappeared. Don't know what happened to him. Must have stumbled off on out into the ocean. Whoops. Like I said, goodbye, Earl, kind of thing. But I also just get a sense of loss. And a lot of drinking. A lot of drinking and use of substance and mental instability. And really strongly masculine in its need to be domineering and overbearing. Yeah, the Devil and the Five of Cups. So there's definitely, in my opinion, been criminal activity and there is dark energy, so to speak, there, evil. There is evil energy. It's corrupted because of the violence and the control and victimization of other people by particularly men that have been in connection to that land. Very abusive men over and over again, and violence, and them being violent and depressed and unstable and homicidal, suicidal is the energy I got. And this shows me there was probably a death or like a murder or something. But again, I'm getting that sense of a love of the 9 and the 10. And then I get more family coming in that's lighter. This is a little bit lighter energy. I know it's an odd deck to use, but it's kind of oddly working because this place was built in, I think it was 63, right? Well, this is kind of the early 60s retro kind of a tongue-in-cheek, but it has a dark side to it. This is the zombie tarot. Some people really don't like it, but it resonates with me. Yeah, you know, there is manipulation. I think also someone like getting addicted to pills there, and manipulative to, I think, keep that supply. It just feels really, I'm feeling like drug abuse and like prescription abuse also. And this is just a variety of different, and you know, one thing you have to think about the house is that sometimes energy can come from the house next door, or even just within, you know, feet away, even a mile away. But energy will glom on there. But that area shows me really abusive men ruling the roost in that area, and really being unstable types throughout the years. I'm being shown of different men, in particularly that had connection or resided there at one time or another, and that it looks like there was this common theme of not knowing how to deal with their emotions, being violent and frustrated and fearful, insecure and controlling and narcissistic. So it's toxic. And if you're sensitive, you may pick up bad energy. Now I'm going to ask, is there any active presence there sticking around? Oh, hang on a minute. So I'm asking, what is relevant to my viewer's request, to needing to know what had happened there in the past because of something that they needed answers for. So let's just see. And then they acknowledge that, you know, the house there being more modern wasn't likely always the only thing that affected that patch of land. So I'm going to try from this angle too. See if we can also tighten the lens. So what is the answer with regard to the viewer's perspective that helps them? The Emperor. Okay, so we are dealing with a very, again, strong, masculine father, husband type of figure. And that can go from, and I, like I've said, I've been getting a more ill-dignified, hot-tempered, abusive, bonded weapons, definitely. Kit Kat. I have to. Queen of Wands. Eight of Cups. Seven of Cups. It looks like someone left. And I don't know whether, again, interestingly enough, we're getting that abandonment, that leaving, and we're getting that with the Seven of Cups, the unhinged, really crazy. So I feel like this man was controlling his wife to the point, again, we're being shown that it was just deluded. He was becoming more and more deluded. I am getting that message again. And I'm being shown, and I'm getting in my mind's eye a light-haired female, usually like with the sense of, for me with wands, that no matter what, their hair would have a bit of a reddish highlight or low light or something to it. Even if it's like my own, kind of a darker color. But I'm feeling here that this was a woman that was in danger. By a very controlling husband that was deluded and probably alcoholic, and definitely, I'm going to say, untreated for serious mental health issues. The Tower, the Ace of Cups. Again, we're talking about trauma, and there is a great deal of a sense of that imprint in that environment. Now this tower, I think, feels like it could have been something that went beyond just that patch. I think that location could also have been experienced some natural weather, unfortunately, like storms that would really wipe it out. And I get like losses of life that storms had gone through and taken losses of life in some instances. Devil and the Nine of Cups. So, again, back to this one masculine person that I asked, is there anybody, hanging around that property? And I get yes, there's a father, somebody who was a father figure, husband that lived there, was connected to it. And he was controlling, and it looks to me like probably heavy drinker and an abuser. And something very sudden, I think, befell him. But overall, the energy there is chaotic. There's a chaotic energy for sure with the devil, temptation, and somebody having real problems. I'm talking real problems with drink and smoking and I think, sexual probably indulgences. Yeah, because the Nine of Cups with it is very gratuitous. It's all very much a card of enjoying those pleasures and enjoying vices. So there is this energy in that area as well. And being that that it's also, as again, on the water where it's at, I got to imagine that in proximity there probably at some point may have been, like I said, prohibition and brothels, something along those lines. It's kind of got that energy to it. But I think as far as those connected to that land, that lot, that patch, definitely toxic masculine energy there. A father that was way too toxic and abusive. Absolutely abusive. And something happened. Something went down very quickly. I don't know whether he ended up being, and I kind of thought maybe somebody sorted him out. Temperance. Something got sorted out. This was a need for balance. Somebody balanced out a situation. Oh my God, yes, again, the fighting and the violence. He may have been known, and maybe by the people in the area as well, to be abusive. But he certainly, someone became aware of it because they fixed it. And the Three of Wands. This was so that they would have more peace, I think, also in their environment. I think this guy was a bully and abusive to the area, and I think there may have also been surrounding neighbors. For one fellow that at least lived there, that collectively, or lived in that area at some point, that collectively was not liked. And I believe someone aided a long-suffering wife And not a joke. I keep getting that. Now I'm getting a female, an adult female, who's very ambitious, connected to that land. And she has a really good intuition. I believe she had some form of business or something that she wanted to create there. Something unique. What was this? Okay, I got a Queen of Swords and a Nine of Wands. Woo. Well, I see a couple of women. And it feels like they're really led hard lives. Okay. And I don't believe that they receive very much education. So there's, I'm picking up two more women, adult women. That I feel like were abused. Domestic violence of some kind. Definitely physically. Enduring I also don't half wonder if some of, again, women didn't come together and help someone, a woman in this situation, and maybe another one. Because I'm just getting something with these two women here then, and how they had been really had a hard life, but it looks to me like they would try and step in and try and help each other out. And they may have both been dealing with husbands that were not very nice. I feel that they may have had some kind of an agreement. So once again, I get this sense of some kind of, so that they could have better lives, that their lives would go in a better way. They wouldn't have to worry about whether they were going to survive the next beating or not. So I'm thinking that, because it shows that there's something kind of secretive, a little on the underside, about some way in order to move forward. The Star and the Seven of Cups. I think he was well known to have mental or instability. I think that became known, this man that lived there. Ace of Wands and Queen of Cups. And I think there were marks. I think there were signs that showed up. And I think, other women and stuff figured it out. So that is what I keep getting. on that area. And let me know what you think. Let me know what you get. And I'll see you in the next video. And if you like this content, please make sure that you're subscribed. And thank you if you are. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.